Part 1: The Enigma of the Forest Werebear. Whispers and tremors permeated the thickets, engulfing the desolate forest surrounding the small village of Glenford. In this rugged corner of nature, where winds whispered secrets of centuries, lived a boy named Edward Stanley. His days passed peacefully and methodically until an event unfolded, marking the beginning of the most mysterious story in this modest youth's life. Sherlock Holmes sat in his study, immersed in thought, when a sharp knock interrupted his reverie. Entering was a young lad, holding a grumbling dog and a gaze filled with trepidation. "Mr. Holmes, I need your assistance," the youth began as they engaged in conversation. "Please, tell me everything that occurred," Sherlock replied, lifting his gaze to the visitor. Edward Stanley recounted his walk in the woods with his dog, when a strange figure resembling a huge bear attacked him. Panic forced the boy into a ditch, while his loyal canine fled in an unknown direction, driven by fear. "Apologies for the disturbance, Mr. Holmes, but this person was my father Edward," concluded his narrative. "Intriguing," murmured Sherlock, leaning toward his desk. "Continue, please." Edward explained that his father, Edmund Stanley, suffered from a peculiar ailment that transformed him into a bear against his will. These transformations occurred suddenly, leaving Edmund unaware and powerless to prevent them. Sherlock squinted, delving into his thoughts. This mysterious tale reminded him of numerous unsolved mysteries, igniting his desire to solve this riddle. The following morning, Sherlock and his faithful companion, Dr. Watson, set off for Glenford to investigate the matter. The village was quiet and serene, yet tension lingered in the air, as if the shadows of the past enveloped every corner. After some investigation, Sherlock concluded that the answer to the mystery might lie in the Stanley family's past. He discovered that several years ago, Edmund Stanley and his brother, Jonathan, participated in an expedition deep into the woods in search of ancient artifacts. "Fascinating. Could this expedition have any connection to your father's troubles?" Sherlock inquired, addressing Edward. The lad nodded thoughtfully. "Perhaps, Mr. Holmes, but I do not know what they found there." Sherlock decided to venture into the forest to find the place where the mysterious expedition occurred. Guided by Sherlock's leadership, the investigators delved into the depths of the abandoned woods, where darkness and mystery became their only guides. As they progressed deeper into the forest, they stumbled upon an old abandoned campsite resembling a temporary refuge. Some items were scattered on the ground, as if left in haste. "Now, this is interesting," Sherlock remarked, picking up an old journal. "Let's see what's written here." After reading several pages, Sherlock and Edward realized that the brothers Stanley's expedition was aimed at finding ancient artifacts related to the legend of the Forest Werebear, a creature capable of taking the form of a bear. "So, this is what it is," Sherlock muttered, gathering all his thoughts together. "Edward, I believe the answer to our mystery lies in what they found in this forest." Returning to Glenford, Sherlock and Edward informed Dr. Watson of their discovery. Together, they decided to continue their search to find evidence linking the Stanley brothers' expedition to Edward's father's troubles. In a few days, they found an ancient temple where, according to the journal, the Stanley brothers hoped to find the key to lifting the curse. Inside the temple, they discovered a statue of the Forest Werebear, as well as manuscripts containing ancient incantations. "This is our key discovery," said Sherlock, studying the statue. "If we can use these incantations, we might be able to help your father, Edward." With Dr. Watson's assistance, they studied the manuscripts and found a way to activate the ancient incantations. Soon they returned to the village, ready to confront the dark force that lurked in the depths of the forest. The next morning, under the protection of the dawn, they returned to the temple to perform their plan. With their combined willpower and knowledge united in one endeavor, they managed to withstand the darkness that enveloped the forest. A few hours after the ritual ended, Edward Stanley's father entered the room, the man they had been searching for. In his eyes, there was no trace of the bear, only gratitude and joy. "Thank you, Mr. Holmes, young Mr. Stanley," he said, smiling. "You saved me." Sherlock and Edward breathed a sigh of relief, knowing that their efforts were not in vain. They had achieved what seemed impossible, turning the dark past into a bright future. Thus ended the story of the Forest Werebear, another mystery solved by Sherlock Holmes, thanks to his intellect and perseverance. Part 2: The Mystery of the Arcane Keys. Several months after the lifting of the curse from Edward Stanley's father, life in the village of Glenford seemed to have regained its stability and tranquility. However, as often happens, calmness and serenity only mask the storm of secrets and mysteries ready to descend upon innocent villagers. Sherlock Holmes, sensing that mysteries were multiplying around him incessantly, could not leave this small corner of the world in peace. One day, while perusing the old archives of the local church, he stumbled upon mention of an ancient artifact known as the Arcane Keys. According to legends, this artifact possessed incredible power and could unlock the doors to magical sources of knowledge. Upon learning of this, Sherlock resolved to unravel the mystery of the Arcane Keys and enlisted his faithful companion, Dr. Watson, to join him in this new investigation. They set out on a journey to explore ancient sites where, according to legends, these mysterious artifacts might have been hidden. Meanwhile, Edward Stanley, sensing that his destiny would soon be entwined with mystical mysteries once again, decided to take matters into his own hands. With Sherlock and Dr. Watson's assistance, he began studying archaeology and magic, striving to understand his role in this new turn of events. While Sherlock, Dr. Watson and Edward delved into their investigation, strange events occurred in the village of Glenford. Villagers began recounting tales of a mysterious figure clad in a black cloak who appeared in the woods during the full moon and vanished, leaving only traces of distrust and fear. These rumors soon caught the attention of Lucy Miller, a young researcher who had come to the village to study local legends and history. Sherlock invited her to join his team, and together they began unraveling the mystery of the mysterious figure in black. During their investigation, Sherlock and his team discovered that the man in the black cloak was associated with an ancient cult seeking to gain control over magical forces and use them for their own purposes. This cult was searching for the arcane keys to obtain unlimited power over the world. A race against time ensued, and Sherlock and his team had to act quickly to prevent catastrophe. They pooled their knowledge and resolved to stand against the forces of darkness and save the village from danger. In the final confrontation, Sherlock and his team battled the cult members in a showdown that determined not only the fate of the village, but also the fate of the world. Thanks to their determination and bravery, they emerged victorious, destroying the last trace of evil that threatened the world. A few weeks after the events concluded, the village of Glenford found its peace once again. Sherlock, Dr. Watson, Edward, and Lucy, each with their unique abilities and skills, continued to explore the world in search of new mysteries and secrets, ready to fight for justice and truth at any time. Part 3: The Legacy of the Mystic Relics. As the dust settled in the village of Glenford after the ordeal with the arcane keys, life resumed its normal rhythm. Yet, beneath the surface of tranquility, the echoes of past mysteries lingered, promising new adventures and challenges for Sherlock Holmes and his intrepid companions. Months passed, and Sherlock found himself once again drawn to the allure of the unknown. Restless in his pursuit of truth, he delved deeper into the annals of history, seeking whispers of forgotten legends and hidden secrets. It was on one such occasion, while perusing ancient manuscripts in the dimly lit confines of his study, that Sherlock stumbled upon a reference to a series of mystical relics scattered across the land. These relics, known as the Chronicles of Destiny, were said to hold the power to shape the course of history itself. Intrigued by the potential significance of these relics, Sherlock wasted no time in assembling his team. Dr. Watson, Edward Stanley, and Lucy Miller, all seasoned adventurers in their own right, readily agreed to embark on this new quest for knowledge and enlightenment. Their journey took them far and wide, from the rugged mountains to the sprawling plains, in search of clues that would lead them to the elusive Chronicles of Destiny. Along the way, they encountered ancient ruins, cryptic riddles, and the occasional obstacle thrown in their path by forces unknown. Each relic they uncovered brought them closer to unraveling the mysteries of the past and unlocking the secrets of the future. From the fabled Sword of Fate to the enigmatic Orb of Prophecy, each artifact held within it a piece of the puzzle that would ultimately shape their destiny. However, their quest was not without its challenges. Dark forces, aware of the power contained within the Chronicles of Destiny, sought to thwart their progress at every turn. Mysterious adversaries emerged from the shadows, intent on seizing the relics for their own nefarious purposes. Undeterred, Sherlock and his companions pressed on, determined to uncover the truth behind the ancient artifacts and prevent them from falling into the wrong hands. With each obstacle they overcame and each mystery they unraveled, their bond grew stronger, forged in the crucible of adversity. Finally, after months of tireless exploration and countless perilous encounters, they stood on the threshold of their ultimate goal, the Chamber of Destiny, where the final relic awaited. As they entered the chamber, they were met with a sight that took their breath away. Before them stood a magnificent pedestal, upon which rested the final relic, the Scroll of Eternity. Its ancient script glowed with an otherworldly light, illuminating the chamber with an aura of timeless wisdom. With trembling hands, Sherlock reached out and grasped the Scroll of Eternity, feeling its power course through his veins. In that moment, he knew that their journey had reached its zenith, and that the secrets of the Chronicles of Destiny were finally within their grasp. Yet, as they prepared to depart the chamber and return to the world above, a sudden tremor shook the ground beneath their feet. The walls of the chamber began to crumble, threatening to bury them alive in the depths of the earth. With swift action and quick thinking, Sherlock and his companions managed to escape the crumbling chamber and emerge into the light of day once more. As they stood amidst the ruins, catching their breath and surveying the aftermath of their adventure, they knew that their quest was far from over. For the power of the Chronicles of Destiny had been unleashed, and the world would never be the same again. But with their courage, their determination, and their unyielding bond of friendship, Sherlock Holmes and his companions were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, secure in the knowledge that they would face them together.